Oh, we're the Beervengers, Beervengers, Beervengers. We're the Beervengers.
Welcome to the Beercast, everyone. Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Astoria, Queens. I am Captain Porter Brownstout.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in the geographical center of California, this is the Pale Male Hophead Huck.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in the county of Kings, it is I, the Beer Wonder.
And we are
The Beervengers.
Yes. Oh, that was something. That was
melodious. Well, Huck,
melodious. Yes.
You lined us up so well with that intro, with that little bit of harmony at the end. I just thought that was lovely. It was inspirational.
Thank you. Yeah, you all sounded wonderful as well.
Now, of course, now that we're on episode 102 here, so those of you listening to episode 101 might have been surprised that we're still using our nom de beers, but it just wouldn't be the Beervengers without it. You know our names. We might still mention them occasionally, but we're still going to be who we are.
I'm still going to make fun of you guys if you screw up the names anyway, so, you know.
I think you should. You as well. Yeah. You should, because it's,
in character.
Yes, we're getting very meta about the whole situation.
I'm taking my namesake seriously today.
Oh,
all right.
As the Hophead. Ooh, a hint.
Oh.
A hint.
Oh my. Ooh,
that's a bit of a teaser, if you will. Excellent. Well, I was going to start asking how you guys are, how you've been, but I think that's actually the perfect segue. Huck, why don't you start off the pours for us?
I think it would only be polite with a teaser like that. My goodness.
Yeah.
Guess I'll just start off then.
Give the people what they want, Huck.
Well, I actually got one from my favorite California brewery right here. This is from Moonlight Brewing Company, one of my faves. It's a new one from them. It's called Incriminating Evidence Double IPA. So we're going to rock this baby. I got excuse my voice going away.
I hate how everything is thematic these days. All I could think of is like, well, incriminating evidence, you still won't get convicted of anything.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It'll be fine.
It's the world we live in.
So I've got my great beer fest glass. Bringing that one out, nice. That old chestnut out.
Classy.
I have so much glassware, but then I'm like, I always seem to use the same ones. So here we go. Let's take a look. Ooh.
Oh, she is hazy.
Check
hazy.
She's clearing up, though.
Maybe less so hazy. And now it is definitely clear up. It's got that good straw color to it. Very little head, but ultimately,
when it's clearing up there,
She's super pretty, Huck.
Very West Coast. Yeah. Lots of different hops.
Mm-hmm.
And it says on the side of the can, "Damn, that's good."
Damn.
So I hope it is.
Damn,
I'm going to wait for my cohort.
Here. So polite. Oh my gosh. Well, Captain, I think you should probably take the next one here.
Well, all right. It would be impolite of me not to take you up on that invitation. To everyone's great surprise. What I have here is it's a sponsored pour from the Beer and Cheese Collective at 35-11 Ditmars Boulevard. Stopped by there to talk to the provider the other day, and she decided she wanted to give me some things because we're just a couple weeks away from New York City or New York State. I can't remember which it is. It's the Beer Week that we have here. I think it's New York City. And so they've got a lot of great ones. And the one she gave me was this really nice looking beer. I'm looking forward to it. It's from it's the Strong Ropes current entry into the Pink Boots Society.
Nice.
It's Lily's Elixir.
Ooh.
Baltic Port. And
Baltic.
take a look at that.
You got that Statue of Liberty right there.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that view when we went to their place in Red Hook, doesn't it, Beer Wonder?
Yeah, very much so. It's very pretty.
It's almost like it's meant to invoke that, but it also looks like it's based on the picture of when it was up in Paris, because it's down at street. It looks like it's down at street level.
Well,
and then of course there are a couple of nice. And then there's some boots there, so they're not. Maybe they're pink in a certain light. If there were too pink, you wouldn't be able to see them on the can. All right. So, this is a Lily's Elixir Baltic Porter. I was looking at their website today. That it's basically one of their brewers is named Lily, and she made it.
Nice.
So
Pink Boot
Here we
Society,
go.
rocking and rolling. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Nice
thinner
dark
beer,
color.
so that's going to be nice, quaffable, hopefully.
It's a
Uh,
6.5%er.
Oh, a
yeah,
light Baltic.
that'll do okay for you. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh,
Beautiful
so
white
nice.
head there.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Creamy.
And love the New York City collection. Love the
Oh, yeah.
locality of it. We love Pink Boot Society. Love the work that we get out of them. People from doing their work. Well, friends. I guess I'm next.
You
So
are.
I just,
Yes.
here's the thing. It's going to be utterly shocking to everyone that this week I will be rocking a.
Another sponsored pour, also from our sponsored Beer and Cheese Collective.
I know it's shocking, and here's the thing, Captain. I think I might have beaten you because what was the
Oh, yeah.
ABV on your beer there?
It's I would say I think I said 6.5.
Yeah, because mine is coming in at 6.6.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misread these
Oh,
elderly eyes of mine. I'm not saying this just to best you. I got a 6.8. So
oh, I see how this goes. All right. Well, here's the
yeah.
thing, and Huck, you were, everything got cleared up for you, but in my world, everything is a little hazy this week.
There you go.
Because this hazy IPA from our friends at Alewife is described as pre-rolled with Sabro hops
Oh ho
because
ho.
it is joining in the magic that is hop's little cousin there. It is a hazy IPA called Puff Puff Pass.
Nice.
So I'm excited. The world is going to go a little bit hazy today, and I'm digging the can art. I do want to note all these weird, like blueberry kind of tropical things that are going on there.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
these little blue fairies that are kind of sprinting around on the can that are pretty epic. Anyway, at 6.6, I'm excited to see what this does. So let's have a pour, shall we?
Nice
Lovely
crack there.
Yeah.
It's freshy for sure. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay. It's got a peachy look right away from
Oh, yeah.
my
Very
vantage
bright.
point.
Definitely tropical, definitely stone fruit, all the things that we like.
It's like
Mhm.
almost
Out
like a
of-
neon kind of
Out
a
of a
look
nice
to it.
hazy boy. Yep. So it's a pretty one, and definitely leaping right out of the can right there. So
Very good.
very aromatic. There's a lot happening here.
All right. Here we go. Well, yeah, that looks nice, Huck. Well, I guess now it's time to once we drink it, that will no longer be incriminating evidence. So
It's true.
We have to
Cheers.
get rid of the evidence. Yeah.
Cheers.
there we go. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Right on. Let's give it a shot. Lovely nose.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Mhm, mhm.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh,
It's the
hey,
lager
oh,
of porters.
Yeah.
man, there's a lot going on here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
with a Westie, one would hope, right?
But
What
I'm
are
getting
you?
a lot of tropical fruit flavors as well.
Okay, nice, interesting. Is it giving you the resiny pininess that we're used to, or?
Yeah, I get that. Oh, yeah, very much so on the finish. Very almost too much, but not really. Just gives you that nice bitterness and piney night. And I'm getting all kinds of stuff on the nose. I need more time to process.
Oh, good. Well, those are the beers that really take you places for sure. Well, I got to say this one is delightful. And I was going to ask, gentlemen, are we familiar with the Sabro hop? Is that one that?
The Sabro hop.
Yeah, I
You know,
believe there might be some
I
Sabro in this beer here that I'm having.
Yeah. It wasn't one that I was super familiar with. It seems to be sort of a newer entry on the market. I see I see a little bit of chatter on the Reddit boards about how it seems to be a divisive hop because
Mm.
it is kind of it provides a little bit of like an acidic mouthfeel, which I am certainly getting. There's like a little bit of a tingle that's happening there, which probably makes sense with the puff puff element of it. But the flavor descriptor I got was citrus, herbal, stone fruit, tropical, which we expect, and coconut. And I'll be honest, I do get just the mildest bit of the coconut on this guy.
oh, that's
Just being
great.
fun.
Yeah.
But there is a distinct tingle, like you can tell that the hop is doing its work there, and it's really quite lovely. For 6.6, it's going down, a little easier than it should. So
Sweet.
a real winner. And I love, of course, always a beer that's going to really highlight an individual hop, so you can kind of get to know that one better.
Me too. I love a single hop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one, it's it's a really really standard, very good Baltic porter. Baltic porter is one of my favorite kinds of porters.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned before, it is the one porter that is a lager. All the other porters are ales, but this is a very unique one, and it just has that. I was trying to look for the words, so I was anyone who happens to be seeing this on video, if I ever release that, I was looking down, googling it, trying to figure out, and the word they use for it is velvety, and that's just that really it really does have sort of like that velvety thing. It's got that sort of like that kind of like chocolate notes that you get from chocolate hops. So
Yeah.
it's not too sweet, but also just goes down really easy. I could knock this back pretty quickly if I were so inclined, but I'm going to enjoy
Well,
savoring it.
I was going to say
Have some
today
mindful drinking.
it is a
There you
mindful
go.
time. Now is a time to mindfully drink. Let's be real, guys,
Nice.
because we certainly need the company of friends and beers in this moment.
Oh,
Well,
yes, we're back to reasons not to kill ourselves, right?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, the meaning of life. The meaning of life.
I want to get into that a little bit later, but
Okay.
we're still on beers.
All right.
We're brewed with Citra,
Yep.
Cryo Simcoe.
Oh,
That's
I've heard of
that's a kind of a throwback.
yeah,
And
I've heard of her.
CGX Motueka.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'd have to look that up. I know Motueka is I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Motueka.
Matueka, yeah, that's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's a New Zealand hop.
I believe so. And they say it was so foreign that the crew at Moonlight, they had to destroy the evidence before its release.
Mm-hmm.
All that's left is this incriminating evidence for you to decide.
Oh, there you go.
So did they destroy the recipe?
Probably.
Or is it
Yeah.
just a gag?
I mean, look, it
It's
could
just
go
a
either
goof.
way.
I mean, it could be in a bathroom at
fingerprint on the
Mar-a-Lago for all
side.
we know.
Somebody did leave a fingerprint on the side of the can.
Okay.
But yeah, it's quite delicious. It's like there's tropical flavor. I get a little tangerine, and it really is a lingerer on the finish. Not only to get the bitterness, but also a warming from the alcohol because it is 8.3%. So I win
the
that. I
Huckster
win the
wins
first round.
today. The Huckster wins.
And yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I think it's one to be like savored as it warms in the glass. So we'll continue to enjoy this one. It meets its West Coast standard.
It is a day for savoring, isn't it? It's a day for us all to enjoy the company.
As you can hear the growler in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
I'll
The
have to
growler.
let the growler out of the room.
Coming for his share of the beers.
For those of you who aren't watching this on this video, Huck has stepped away from the microphone for a moment to get the enthusiastic, the growler, which if you heard before, that is the Beervenger name for Teddy the dog,
Ted.
the growler.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to since the last time we recorded?
Boy, oh boy, what a time it's been.
Yeah. Have the regrets commenced yet?
Yeah, no, not really. We're doing another. We've done 3 open mics, which have gone pretty well, and we've got one more, and then we're taking February off. So, although it is February right now, but the rest of February.
Exactly. Well, so talk to us about what's been fun. Any performers you want to call out? What's been good about it?
What has been good? Well, I think that we're creating, or I'm trying to anyway, create a welcoming atmosphere, an accepting atmosphere. You know, a safe space,
Sure.
as it were. And you think that maybe that would be necessary, but sometimes our comedy world can get a little dicey. You know, when like
Little toxic.
Little toxic. That's more the word I'm looking for. Yeah, little toxic, and not necessarily even toxic masculinity, but just toxicity in general. But certainly the toxic masculinity. I mean, this isn't Bakersfield after all. The comedy in Bakersfield is all about it. I'll call out Bakersfield. I'll do it.
Oh wow!
Well,
From what I've seen.
a lot of anti-woke comics in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
That's weird that's a new genre. Like, hey, let's all pretend. Let's all be asleep. Let's not be woke.
Yeah. Well, we have our share here in Fresno too, but there's also another side of the scene, which is very gay and very accepting and trans, and there's a whole world here that is exactly what I would want our show to be like. So we're trying to do the lean into that, and I think that people find that in the Cider Girl and myself that we're kind of like like coming over to the cool parents' house, where you can still drink, but we're
And you
not going to
can be
tolerate any
non-white.
any
I would
nastiness.
hope you could drink at your place. My goodness. I mean, we
I'm
certainly.
Well,
just
the
imagining
parents,
it.
I know. Yes, I understand. I understand.
I'm just imagining starting out a set with saying, "Hey, where are my DEI hires at?"
Can I use that? That's good.
You should.
You can. You absolutely. I would
think-
love to. I would be honored if you
I
used that.
appreciate that. Where my DEI hires at.
Give us a whoop whoop, raise the roof for DEI.
What?
And
Yeah.
just found out Cider Girl and I are now expanding our producing element here in town. We're going to be hosting a porch for Tower Porch Fest on April 26th, featuring the Mickey Bricky Band and
Fun.
other musical and do some comedy. And
So when you say you're hosting a porch, what does that mean?
Yeah. What is a porch fest? I want to hear the details about that too.
Porch Fest didn't start in Fresno, I don't believe, but it's when a neighborhood, wherever you may be, decides to have a day where it's going to be loud music all day.
Okay.
In different parts of the neighborhood, and one of the neighborhoods here is called the Tower District, and Tower Porch Fest is. Well, the other thing about Tower is that there's a distinct architecture to the houses in the district that have porches.
That helps. That helps.
That's kind of where it starts. But last year we went to Porch Fest. We weren't able to perform. But so this year we wanted to perform, and we were talking about it. And, I'm doing this open mic at the Hearts Haven bookstore, which is a great place just to check out, used bookstore. Great people there. That's where we're doing our comedy show. And I realized that's in Tower. They have a front area. Why don't we call up Barbara and see if she wants to do a porch? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about it." I said, "Yeah, here's the sign up sheet," and she did it. And we're going to produce the show, and she's just going to provide the space. So we're excited.
That's
We're going to have our own porch.
So these are all porches in front of businesses, or
No,
like some?
no, they're mostly houses.
They're mostly houses. People say, like, I think I've got a great porch for performance space.
Right. And just
is there any competition among the neighbors for who gets their porch selected?
I don't think so. I think that you generally will get accepted. I think there's probably geographical issues.
Gotcha.
Because because it does get loud. They're full-fledged bands are playing. I mean, we saw a metal band last year, and so you kind of have to space them out. So I suppose people right next to each other, there might be an issue with that. But the great thing about the bookstore is it's a great location, and it's it's already an established business, and so some of them are businesses that have mostly they're, instead of a porch, it's a parking lot. But it's a great event. It's really fun, and it just basically goes from, I guess, 10 a.m. Although I don't see a lot of 10 a.m. performances, but 10 to sunset really, and then there's after parties at the bars in Tower. So yeah, it's gonna be a great day. Mark your calendars.
That
April
sounds
26th.
April 26th. All right.
April, good time for outdoor stuff, I imagine, and the weather's probably still chill near you. Not like super hot, but still pleasant to be outside.
Well, I know 2 years ago it was the typical Fresno summer temperatures, about 90 something. But last year it was just pleasant. It was nice. Hot sun.
I heard Fresno mentioned on some show. Oh, I know what it was. It was someone talking about that they were in a Audra McDonald, who is currently playing Mama Rose in Gypsy on Broadway. Apparently, she got her one of her childhood starts was playing one of the children in a production in Fresno.
Oh, I think.
And when she mentioned it on Colbert last night, there were some Fresno people in the audience. So there was a woo Fresno moment on there.
I think I remember reading that Audra McDonald was from Fresno. Cher.
Well, when you're
is another one. Although I guess
when you're from
it.
when you're from a smallish town and you have like anyone who's remotely famous and some like very famous who come from there, that town never forgets it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably William Saroyan is one of the more
Oh, that's a deep cut.
well-known Fresnans. Yeah, well, it is a deep cut, but he was, you guys know because you're theater people that he was a famous playwright.
Playwright, yeah.
There's actually a theater in town, the William Saroyan Theater.
Oh.
The Time of Our Lives, wasn't that the name of the play? He won
That sounds, or The Time of Our Lives, or The Time of Our Life. I can't remember which
Time
one.
of Our
Yep.
Life.
It's definitely not Good Riddance, which is the name of the Green Day song that a lot of people think is called The Time of Your Life.
I
think
hope
it's
you
The
had the
Time
time
of
of
Your
your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can
Nicely
relate to
Slightly
that
different.
song.
Slightly different, though.
Right on.
You know, it's funny. My hometown. I always remember that like they would always talk about how that Rob Lowe was from there,
Mhm.
and that Martin Sheen was from there, and Allison Janney. So like basically half the cast of The West Wing,
That's interesting.
and also the Wright brothers.
That's right.
It's
That's
an
right.
auspicious crew right there.
Oh yeah. And any celebrities from where you grew up, Beer Wonder?
I went to school with, or I didn't go to school with him. Let's be clear. He was a couple classes above me. But Josh Hartnett of Black Hawk Down and all of that went to my high school.
Oh, I
Yep,
did not
that's the
know
blank
that.
stare that I'm looking for from most people because he had his 15 seconds of fame and then kind of continued on with his career. But when Black Hawk
Yeah.
Down was a big deal, he was also a big deal, and of course everyone was quite proud that a hometown boy had made it big.
No, he's in something recently. He
was?
was in
And-
he was in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
true.
right.
Mhm. Yep.
And the Virgin Suicides, and a few
Aha.
other things in between then. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
good actor.
But I mean, there were a few people, T.R. Knight and other folks, and
Oh yeah, I think I saw him in a play once. I
Yeah.
never saw.
Oh.
He was on Grey's Anatomy, right?
yes,
Yeah, it was some 2-person play. I want to say it was him and Patrick Stewart, but I'm not even sure about that.
sounds about right. He was
Yeah.
he worked at the Guthrie in the Twin Cities, and the one time I had a
Okay.
chance to perform there, I actually got a chance to meet him and work with him. Both of us were significantly younger than we are now.
Yeah.
So
I just found out. I was
Well,
looking
would
at the
it be
list.
unlikely that you were older than you are now?
gosh, I would hope not. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there's some Benjamin Button nonsense going on.
Oh yeah,
Woof.
Merlin kind of thing.
I just found out that Phil Austin from Firesign Theater was from Fresno. How about that?
Oh, there you go.
I'll have to
Yeah.
See?
dig deeper into that. I mean, he's passed on, but
But lives on in our
Firesign.
hearts.
you guys into Firesign Theater?
Let's see. I know what that is. I heard
Okay.
some of it. I know it is a strong comedic influence, but specific knowledge I am lacking.
Yeah, no reference point for me, but I guess that should not be surprising to anyone here or
Well,
any of our
listen,
longtime
it's
listeners.
there's no you're in the majority.
Okay, good. Well, there we go. Finally,
People don't
for
know about
once.
Yeah, it says Audra McDonald. Yeah, how about that?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of like the closest I could come to that people might know, but they still wouldn't know, like the National Lampoon Radio Hour.
Yeah, and I know about that
From
because
that
there's just a lot
generation,
of-
I think.
There's a lot of Saturday Night Live connection,
That's right.
and I tend to
Yeah,
read biographies about SNL people.
Yeah.
yeah. I just watched that Saturday Night movie the other day. It showed up.
Yeah,
on
I
Netflix.
liked it.
I did too. The weirdest part about it was that sometimes it seemed like they were relying a lot on having other people laugh at stuff that maybe wasn't as funny to us now. They're like, we're really always making it a point to show that, like,
yes.
why the whole, I would like to feed the Wolverines. I would like to feed your fingertips to the Wolverines.
Yeah,
That was from the opening sketch, which I just performed very badly.
yeah. And if you got Peacock, they have all the episodes right now. On
Yep.
Right.
Peacock.
Well, yeah, I almost wanted to just watch the first episode again after I watched all of that.
Well,
I did watch it afterwards.
Yeah.
the making of sort of retrospective that they've done here. That first episode where everybody rewatches their
Yes.
their auditions is pretty spectacular.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah,
I also
amazing.
I love that they did a whole episode. Like they didn't like make it a 4-part episode. They just made 4 separate documentaries.
Mhm.
So they're all different. Like there's that one. There's one about the writers, and one is just about the cowbell sketch.
Oh, I
Basically,
haven't
just
gotten
an
that far
hour
yet.
oral history of the cowbell sketch.
Well, that is SNL lore right there.
It is a
so it should be
classic, yeah.
documented. Hmm.
Fellas.
Yeah, it was originally written for someone else, and I can't remember who.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because, you can't imagine it without Chris Walken. Yeah.
No.
And I also just love how every story is about how it was funnier. There's more than one occasion, including that sketch, where Will Ferrell went between dress rehearsal and the full performance and said, "Yeah, I need something smaller." Because part of what's hilarious is him hitting that cowbell and his shirt keeps riding up and you see his gut.
Yeah.
And there are a few sketches like that where he said this will be funnier if there's more nudity. More Will Ferrell nudity is always funnier.
It's all people really want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like in a 1017 days, the comedy group we did together, I tried to not nearly as well, but I tried to sort of live up to that. Like, well, it's not going to be sexy, but it hopefully will be funny.
Right. We got the captain in his underwear a few times in our comedy.
Oh yes, and most of the time it was my idea.
As it should be. As it should be.
Well, it was just like if I'd be wearing like one of those sleeveless T-shirts. I don't think we're supposed to call them what we all call them.
Yes,
we'll either use some synonym for a spouse abuse or a racial slur or an ethnic slur. So, but we all know what kind of shirt I'm talking about. But it's I would always try and get it a size smaller because if my hairy gut was hanging out, it was always funnier than it was just a me playing a redneck or something.
We call it a tank top undershirt.
There we go, tank top undershirt.
A-line, I believe, is the other one.
Oh, well,
A-line shirt.
Mr. Blackwell here.
I know.
That works.
Look, I know. I've always wondered what the A part of it was. Like, what is it making? Why is it making an A? But
it seems like a U line.
Is it like upside down and sort of?
No. I mean,
yeah, because you got the A perspective from where you're looking down.
That I can see. If you're looking down, it could look like an A. I could see that.
Okay.
That I get. That I'll buy. Well done.
It's a stretch, though.
I'm so glad we've solved.
I don't buy it, Quince.
I'm so glad we've solved this issue.
I'm so sorry for talking over you.
Aren't we all talking over each other?
Well, we don't want to. I think we do a pretty good job overall.
We do.
Yes, I mean, as our editor, I do certainly notice sometimes we're like, shut the fuck up. And I'm usually talking to myself when that happens. It's like, he's talking, shut the fuck up. And I will sometimes mute myself because I'm just saying, yeah, okay, over. Yeah, this is the meta episode, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're giving you all the uninteresting things behind the sines.
Gosh, yeah, everyone's going.
Well, we've gotten some responses to our last episode, haven't we?
I think we got a few. Definitely, it's one saying, "I'm glad you're back."
Glad you're back. Somebody was glad.
I think that was. It was who?
Somebody was glad that we were back.
Yeah, well, I know AJ. I think was one of them.
Yeah, AJ.
So, hi, AJ.
Hi, AJ.
Yeah.
Now we know AJ, right?
Yes, we have.
We do. He used to work for Unboxed Experiences, or more specifically
that's
for
AJ. I'm sorry, AJ. Yes.
Yeah.
AJ Snap.
Yeah. Yes, that's the one. And also Laura and Eric had some nice things to say there.
Hey, Laura and Eric.
Give you a little bit of background if you didn't hear our last few episodes before we took our break. Laura and Eric have a wonderful primarily video blog on YouTube talking about going to different breweries, and someone figure out the name of it because I need to. It's they call them beer vlogs, but I don't know if there's another name you can search for it other than that. But they're beer vlogs. And I actually got to guest on a couple of them.
Yeah.
There was one that was on the roof at Grimm, and there was another one in the backyard at the Beer and Cheese Collective. I don't know which of those episodes have been released, but they were happy to see it because I guess they were partly inspired by us to start doing what they're doing. So
yeah, that is
it's
so
nice to sort of. It's a small community, but a nice.
If we can inspire one person to start their own beer podcast, then we've done our job.
Person.
Oh yeah.
Right on. And
so But now, in addition to people welcoming us back, there was important beer venging and research that was being done
Oh
in the
yes, there
last month.
was.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're not just like back to say hi and drink with each other. We're doing the work. Okay,
we
work
are. We
is
are.
needed now more than ever. And Captain, you were doing some very important work
Well,
recently.
yeah,
Can you
yeah. A
tell us
couple weeks
about what you
ago.
were doing?
That's right. Well, it is the. I want to say it might be the fifth sort of annual barrel aged festival at Gun
Uh-huh.
Hill Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
I say sort of because they uh, they started in 2020. Then they had to, because it was before the pandemic, because they always do it every January, and they had to cancel the one in 2021.
Yep.
But so 22, 3, 4. Yeah. So I guess was the fifth annual, even though it spans over 6 years,
Yep.
barrel aged festival. This is the first one though they've done at their new location at Industry City.
Ah, okay.
Now I know we've mentioned Industry City,
Great
but I don't think we've ever
location.
really. Well, yeah, it's a fantastic location.
Mhm.
But I don't think I've really broken down like what exactly Industry City is. It's not actually a neighborhood in Brooklyn. It is sort of
Yep.
like it's kind of like a if you made a shopping mall out of a found object. So rather than being
That's a good way to
designed,
describe it. Yeah.
rather than designing a mall, they took these like I guess they're abandoned warehouses. I'm assuming that's what they were because
Yeah.
they have that sort of very industrial feel to it. I think
Mm.
they all were warehouses, and they just sort of converted it into bars and restaurants and other shops.
Yeah.
Very very Brooklyny things. Like right next to the Gun Hill place, there's a blacksmithing shop where you can learn how to blacksmith and things like
Mm.
that. Like all things artisanal in Brooklyn, you can
Yes.
find there.
As it should be.
Um, and this year was my third or fourth time that I think I've been to everyone except for the first one, and I was able to took the Belgian Babe with me.
Oh, nice.
It was her first time there, and she had a wonderful time. And yeah, it was just so great seeing all the different breweries there. There's one in particular that I liked a lot. I'm going to save that one for my second pour, but it was really interesting seeing the way it was all set up. Oh, I ran into the Brewbador there because
Ah, okay.
he never misses it. He always goes. And for those of you who don't know, the Brewbador was on one of our shows, and he was named the Brewbador here. He made it into the Instagram handle. He's a Broadway musical actor. Acts in other things as well, but as far as he does musicals, and so he likes to hold up a beer and sing songs about them on
Yes, he
Instagram.
should.
So,
Yes, he should.
yeah,
So,
in fact, he was talking about how he's certain beers that he's waiting to be inspired by that are like they're keeping in storage. And his wife says, "Can we just throw this out?" Like, no, I'm waiting to find out what
No.
song's attached to it.
oh,
And also,
nice.
you don't just throw it out. If you can't have a song, just drink it without a song. That
That
was
is
my
correct.
my
At
theory
least
about the
try
whole
it first before you drain pour it.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
I actually did that recently. I had a beer. It was a classic beer from. I think I texted you all when I drank it. Brunch Dinner Grub from
Hmm.
Yeah.
our good friends at Carton Brewing out of Jersey.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to get a box of Jersey beers because our other podcast,
Hmm.
our good friend the Globe Hopper hosts a
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
The Beer of the Month Club. What it has cool initials, right?
CBTBC, City Brew Tours Beer Club.
City Brew Tours Beer Club.
CBTBC.
Yes.
City Brew Tours Beer Club, and I was
CBTBC.
lucky enough to be as part of the Jersey episode. And
We've spent some time drinking there.
yeah, we have. And there
Sure.
was a couple of good ones from Carton. I had another one from Carton. It was called Hoipool, Japanese
Oh.
style Pilsner.
Okay.
I didn't manage to look up what Hoipool meant, but it was a nice, unfiltered pills. I mean, I don't know if it's Japanese style because like it was really pretty tasty. And not that a Japanese beer isn't tasty, but I didn't get a real like rice lager vibe from it
Sure.
because it was like kind of slightly hazy, and it struck me more as an American style Pilsner, but American craft style Pilsner, I should say.
Yes.
As opposed to a Budweiser. But that one was really good, and had some other really nice beers from Jersey. So that was pleasant to have those. And another beer I had was a beer that the captain gave me on your
Oh.
visit to Fresno.
It's been
You brought
in
beers
your
in your
cellar, huh?
suitcase. We did manage to drink most of the ones you brought.
We did.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were from Single Cut, or one of our old faves in
Mhm.
Right.
Queens. And the one you brought was the Heavy Boots of Lead,
Oh yeah.
which is a classic imperial stout from them. And you brought two, I recall. And we had one while you were here, and the other one I had in the huckster's cellar. And I looked at the date. I was like, oh well, this is getting to be a year and 3 months, or a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I better open it. And boy, was it good. It was
Yeah.
just exactly right. And can you cellar a beer in a can? You can for that period of time. I don't know, 2 years, 3
I mean,
years. It'd
I'm
be
gonna
interesting.
say, I think cans might be better for cellaring than bottles.
Ooh.
I mean, they have that liner, right? The protective
well,
liner from the rust.
Well, I think they seal it in more than bottles can.
Yeah,
They seal it for sure. You're right
makes
about
sense.
that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like that BDG you had was it can or bottle?
It was canned.
It was a can, but you
And-
said it
and
wasn't really. It was not quite what you were hoping for.
It just didn't have a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just recall it having a really nutty and almost savory flavor
Yeah.
to it. But yeah, and that was 2 years old. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
no, it was a year. It was about the same age as the stout.
Okay.
But it was a light ale, so as opposed to an imperial stout, which really just nailed it. And yeah, nothing against Carton, of course. It's not their fault. They did put the date on it, and that's something I don't know how y'all feel about cans that don't date. Like there's a brewery here that I really enjoy. In fact, I'm going to use their glass for my next beer. It's called There Does Not Exist. I've had them on the show before.
Yeah.
Excellent beers. In fact, I had one recently. It was a great West Coast IPA that was just killer. And they make great beers, but they don't date. They don't date the cans. I'm like, what? This is 2025, people.
We can do more than that. Yeah, no, I agree. This is when we have the beer nerddom that is, plateauing. I will say we're not quite at the craziness that it was a while ago. There is a certain level of decorum that is expected, and dating a can is one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I find fast. Oh yeah, go ahead.
If they're selling beers and it's not an issue, then okay. But I like it.
I still think we can hold each other to higher standards, but that's just
I'd like to see a date.
I do find it interesting that sometimes where your palate is, the beer you had before, what beer you've been having for the last 6 months, what mood you're in can all affect whether something tastes. And sometimes it also is the age of the beer or maybe they've changed the recipe. I don't know. Because I remember years ago, more than a decade, the Belgian Babe and I went to this tasting thing in Pennsylvania at Stouts Brewing. Okay. And I remember that BDG being like one of the standout beers that I had there.
Yeah, I recall.
But the idea that between my palate and the recipe changing and the aging of the 2 years, it's very likely that you and I had very different beers over that decade, even though they still have that BDG name to it.
I actually specifically remember having a BDG at a bar in, it's coming to me. Baldy. It had the word Baldy in it. It was in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
We all went to we had a Brooklyn beer book, I believe.
And it had Baldy. Balderrama.
Garibaldi. No. I think it's
Gloria de Baldi. Gloria de Baldi.
Captain for the win.
Oh my goodness! Well
yes,
done.
That's right.
That was a good bar.
Yeah, they were part of a whole network of bars, like Owl Farm and that. Oh, and a few other places. I hope one of them is at least open. But I know that there was the one that was named after the thing from Vertigo. Bar Great Harry, I think, was theirs too.
Bar Great Harry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of great bars.
And Owl Farm, I'm sure, is still there.
There are, yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
But I think Gloria Debaldi didn't make it.
Probably not.
But we had a great night there once. You know what? Another one I had the same night. I don't know why I remember these beers. Was it Money from Barrier Brewing?
Yeah.
Money IPA, which I used to just swear by was just the best IPA, or East Coast IPA.
Yeah.
That's before haziness.
Mm.
In the pre-hazy era. How long did the pre-hazy era last?
It was
I
short.
guess until they invented hazies. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's the
so-
deal. Is just like we can actually probably if the beer Bible says that patient zero is Heady Topper,
Right.
then I guess everything before Heady Topper is the pre-hazy era.
Sure, but there's also like the idea that the Heady was around for a while before the haze craze, as it were.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that makes sense to me.
Like Treehouse is more known for like the orange juice looking beer.
Right.
For me, the
Sure.
first one that I remember was Single Cuts. They did the Session IPA,
Mhm.
18 watt.
18 watt, yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
But I feel like when they first started, though, that's the thing. It's like I feel like all those. I mean, when we had Dan on, he admitted they're constantly tinkering with the formula, and I feel like that when they first started, most of those IPAs they had were a lot more like traditional West Coast IPAs.
Yeah, for sure. And if you drink a Heady, which I still love, I've had them in my fridge. I had one just this month, actually.
Oh wow.
When did we start the comedy show? I brought one to the comedy show. January, I should say. But great! I love it. I think it's a great beer. But it does drink more like a Westie. But it does have a bit of a haze to it. It does have a haze. Beer Wonder. Where do you stand in the Where do you stand on hazies, Beer Wonder?
Me? You know I love a good hazy.
You see how I turned the whole conversation around?
I know. That's
we haven't run out of beer topics, okay?
no, we never will. And here's the thing, you know how I feel at a hazy. But here's the thing, loving the captain and I met up earlier today because he had to get me my sponsored pours.
Oh,
and also it was one
okay.
Of those,
Tell us about that.
It was a delightful day to be together, and I had a Westie because I was feeling Westie, and it was all resiny and delightful. But the haze craze is where my heart lives, even though I'm having still my Pilsner moment.
Yeah, we got to have the brother-in-law on sometime because he's still
full on haze craze.
It just drinks. He only.
Wow.
Yeah.
The haze head.
He is. Yeah, he is the haze head. Yeah, let's have to try to get him on. That would be since we've talked about him a lot. But what did you have? Do you remember the beer you had?
We were at Evil Twin.
Yes, and I have more to say about that too in a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you had a strong reaction to that, Huck. What's happening here?
Well, you had a tone when you said Evil Twin.
Well, look, we've established my feelings on Evil Twin. First off, I live like right next door, so
yes,
nothing but love.
This is the Dumbo location.
Yes, and also they swing hard, and I love that they swing hard. So sometimes they nail it.
Right.
And this was an outstanding Westie, and it had a very long name, and I cannot remember what it was.
Oh, yes, of course. They always do.
And sometimes they swing real hard. And, we hit hard because it's good for us, and because when we hit hard, we try new things and we learn, and sometimes we have a learning moment. And so I'm happy that they did not have a learning moment on this one. Let's put it that way.
Good.
And to be fair, I think that we have probably had more Evil Twins on this show than any other beer. And so therefore we have the vast spectrum of them.
Right.
And I would say the majority of them are quite wonderful.
Yeah. And because they hit so frequently, I am thrilled to go back because like more likely than not, we're going to get one where it's just like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the juice. And then every once in a while you get one and you're like, oh, what did we do? This was a horrible choice. And when it's bad, it's really bad. It's never casually bad. It's just like bad. But more often than not, it's outstanding. And that's why we love them.
Yeah.
I want to get...
please.
Go ahead. No, if you have something to tag on to that, I want you to say it because I'm shifting topics. So
Well,
say what you want to say about that.
No, I was going to say that. Yeah, I've had a couple of like their pastry seltzers, for
uh-huh.
example, are way too much for me. Anything
Yeah.
with marshmallow that they do, I'm like, ah. And I had that one time. I had the carrot cake orange
Mm-hmm.
amber sour stout, and that was not their best. Oh, and when we went to the I'm only doing the negative ones. Well, that's because I can remember them because they stand out. But we went to that parking lot festival,
Oh yeah,
Blocktoberfest,
the Blocktoberfest, sure.
and they had a pumpkin beer that was
Mhm.
like it was like drinking the can of pumpkin.
Yep.
You know, like when you make
There's
the
like
pumpkin
pulp in
pie,
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
it was.
When they swing
Because most pumpkin beers are pumpkin spice beers, and that one was an actual pumpkin
No,
beer.
this was like squash beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Um,
their beer list today, see if I can call out your Westy. But please go on, Captain. I know. I
So,
think
so
you're
to,
ready
to move away from Evil Twin for a moment, back to the Barrel Aged Fest. When I was there was one brewery I feel like they've been there before, and I've liked it. This one in particular was a brewery called Warbler, and they had a beer there that was like it was a. I mean, we're talking about overly sweet pastry stouts. This one, an argument could be made for it, but I still really thought it was great. When I was growing up, one of the things that we always associated with Christmas was chocolate covered cherries. My mother would always make sure there were like tons of these things around, like the Brock's thing, with it's like liquidy with some kind of white stuff in there. And they had a chocolate covered cherry imperial stout, and it
Okay.
was like so wonderful. And we were talking about it, and I was talking about how much I like dark beers, and they gave me a porter. This is a slightly low ABV one, 5%.
Love it.
And I have not tried this yet. This is a blind
Okay.
tasting, but this is the Thatcher Porter.
Okay.
Oh.
Not like Margaret. I think maybe that's the name of this bird that's here. Thacher. There's a black bird, somewhat crow-like, with a little bit of like a blue crest on the top. Very magnificent looking. But this is a 5% from Warbler. Maybe that's just the Warbler. I don't know.
Warbler's the bird. Yeah.
Warbler.
But here we are, Thatcher Porter.
You're going double porter today.
That's what I'm expecting. That is also pouring a little lighter than I would anticipate. But good God, that head is.
Well, it's a 5%, so
Yep.
I feel like my logo is lighter than yours, so maybe everything's just lighter on my end.
Might be, yeah. But
Thatcher
it definitely,
porter.
Yeah,
Pub style porter.
Looks
pub style porter. I think that's part of why it's a lower ABV.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the word porter because guess what?
Oh my goodness!
I have a porter.
What?
Really?
Huck,
wow.
what are we doing?
Porter.
Hey porter. Hey
Porter.
This one's called Story Beer.
Ooh.
And it's from our friends at Altamont Brewing. I've had them on the show before.
I'm seeing
this is
oat coffee
nice porter.
Now, what's it based on?
It's inspired by Stubbs' famous oat whiskey latte.
Nice.
Okay, so Stuffy's Story. Oh, Story. I'm sorry, Story.
Oh, yeah.
These glasses don't read well. Neither do I. Story that's why they named it Story, because that's the name of the coffee place that inspired it. And full disclosure, I have had this, but I wanted to have it on the show because, wow. All right, coffee. You guys know I like my coffee porters coffee-y.
Yeah, and this one does look like you are pouring a cup of coffee.
Wow, that looks
great.
That's
my
in a beautiful tiny.
There does not exist glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is kind of. I'm glad I poured it in this glass because I could see there is a bit of translucence in it. But I mean, right on the nose, just coffee city. And what's I've noticed recently is I come to expect, if it says coffee, I'll be like, okay, I'll have it. And it'll be like, yeah, it's there. Yeah, I guess it's there, Mm-hmm. But when I get a coffee porter, coffee stout, or even a coffee cream ale, I want coffee. I want it to be like the morning coffee. And this one fits the bill, and it's oaty too, which gives it a creaminess. I can talk about it because I already drank one, but man, great beer. If you're out in the Central Valley or the Bay Area, get this beer. If you're into coffee beers, it's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That looks great. That really does
Really
look
does.
fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, Captain, you would love this. Yeah.
I
Just
know I would.
A
Oh.
malty espresso is what it seems like.
Oh, and it's just, I get hit in the nose, the front of the mouth, the finish. Coffee, 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 coffee. Isn't that a song? What's that show? How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Oh, that's a good song for you later
Yeah.
on they have a song all about coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
that.
I will look for it. What's the name of the song? Do you think
Coffee break. I happen
it's
to know
called
that
Coffee
one.
Break? I will look
Yes.
it. I will look it up. And
Beer Wonder knew that one.
I will definitely, when I'm editing the episode, I will take another note of that because I'm not writing it down right now.
No worries. I'll remind you.
But
wow, great beer, great beer. One of my favorites of the year so far.
Oh wow!
How about that? I haven't thought about that. I've already taken a picture of it, so I'm trying to be better about getting pictures of my beers, so I can remember to have them later.
Beer is indeed a visual art form as well as
it certainly is.
We drink with our eyes.
Taste-based art form.
It does look pretty with like that straight black vibe.
Really, and that is the correct glass for it. As well.
Well, I realized I keep using the same glasses, and this is almost like a sample glass. It's probably 6, maybe 7 ounces. But killer beer, excellent. How about that porter of yours, Cap?
It's great. I mean, it's a really like nice, light, drinkable one. Very, it's got a great flavor to it. It's almost. If you had this next to Schwartz beer, and you asked me to tell me which one was a Schwartz beer and which was the porter, and I'm doing a blind taste test, I might have a hard time telling you. There is some bleed into those two things with sort of like a lower ABV stout or porter. And so it has some of those, but it has that's really nice sort of like chocolatey flavor to it. But very, very tasty. I like it a lot. Who knows? Maybe once my car died again. Maybe it's I'd have to remember to like when I had a car in New York City that I had to move around every week for parking. I hated having to park it every week. But now that I have a car that I have a driveway for, I forget to start it often enough and the battery dies. This is like happened. This is the second winter this has happened to me. I think the reason I said this was like when I see a place that's like close enough, I could probably drive to it. I'm like, that would be a great day road trip. So I have to get the car fixed so I can go visit the Warbler people.
Yeah, can you tell me the name of the? Where's it at?
I think it's up near Albany.
It's Warbler Brewing.
Warbler Brewing, yeah. I don't remember the name of the guy who we met there, but really, really nice. And thank you for giving me this beer so we could feature on the podcast, so more people can go to Warbler Brewing and taste the Thatcher Porter, and maybe even that wonderful chocolate covered cherry Imperial Stout, because that was fantastic.
It's in Del Mar, New York.
Del Mar, yes, that's correct.
Oh, it's right by Albany.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what. I'm glad I wasn't too drunk at the point that I misremembered that. Yeah.
Speaking of that area, I got together with my family at the holidays. We talked a little bit about it, but I also got together with one of our podcast guests. This Beer Kills Fascists, I think that was the name of of his Beervenger name, my cousin. And, I said, I texted him before because we got together Christmas Eve. I said, are you gonna bring you beer? And he says, no, but I've grown my own wheat. Bringing a lot of that. So I said, unfortunately, I was off it at that moment, so I didn't partake, but didn't get any of his beer. He was a good brewer. It was about a year after we had him on, or even less than, he brought some beer to a wedding. He's a good brewer. But yeah, he lives in Troy, so that's just outside Albany.
Yes, I recall.
Close by.
I just realized, why didn't you guys tell me I wasn't wearing my Beervengers t-shirt?
Well, I mentioned that at the beginning. I did mention
Did
at the
you?
beginning. I did
Oh,
say
I didn't
you were.
hear you say
I
it.
did say you were repping the unboxed today.
Well, that's why you said it. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
okay. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just because I went straight in for doing that to this, and I
I'll-
totally intended to change.
It's your
Well,
other
Cap,
uniform.
you have the logo there, so
Yeah. Yep.
Well, now I see it. Well, I have the logo behind me, and I have the other
Right.
logo here, so I
Exactly.
guess it's okay.
I just
look,
didn't notice, honestly, because you
you
had the
also-
logo.
We have multiple uniforms. We have the unboxed.
Now I have to
uniform.
release this on video, otherwise people are like, why the fuck are you talking about what you're wearing?
Exactly. Well, we are a fashion forward group. I will be honest.
Yes.
So, but no, I've seen you. You've done this show with your additional uniform, which is our Pony Bar All American shirts.
Oh, okay.
Have I, or did they just do that with like the show I do with City Brew Tours? I know I've worn it there. Have I done this one?
You wore it because we were all celebrating when I had my moment. Everyone wore their gear on top of their uniforms, their Beervenger uniforms, to celebrate that moment.
Well, yeah, that's right. And I think the last time I was here, I was wearing my Beervengers shirt with the Pony Bar hoodie.
Yes,
There you go.
Because it was cold in here. Anyway, sorry, I did. That was was there more to the Troy thing and Albany and all that? Because I feel like I
just
totally
jumping
interrupted
off
it with
that.
my own squirrel.
You and I both do this, and
We
poor Beer Wonder tries to get in there.
look, I get what I need, and I do what I get what I need out of our podcast. I get good time with you. I get snarky comments in. I get to what is it that they say? Border collie the situation.
Well, yeah, that's what Belgian Babe calls you. I feel like I get what I need might be the episode.
I
Get what I
title.
need.
I get what I need.
I get some good beer out of it. I get some good friendship out of it. I get a reprieve from the dark times, and that's why
You find a reason not to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Find a reason.
I knew we were going to come back to that.
and have a beer and bring that joy into the world that we need right now. So
I guess the issue I have with that particular phrase, and a lot of people, I'm not as sensitive as
I
a
know
lot
they're
of people are.
triggering. I don't want to be a jerk about it.
A lot of people are triggering, but for me, it's like, so you do want to kill yourself
the implicit assumption, yes,
until this thing came along that stopped you.
Well, no, it's not so much. It's kind of what I was. Oh, that's right. I think we talked about this off mic. Just basically saying it's like it's not that I need a reason not to kill myself, or it's not that I'm planning on killing myself. They're like, okay,
Good,
but it feels like puts less pressure on you if you're thinking of the things that you're looking forward to not as reasons to live,
right?
but reasons that you hope you don't die before then.
Okay.
Is that kind of like, okay, that's something I hope I experience.
Remains
Not like,
dark,
but if it's a reason to live and it winds up not being anything great, you're like, well, I guess I did. There wasn't a reason to live, but it was like, okay, but there's just something, I don't know. You've heard me talk about this. I can't remember if I talked about it on the show before, but I is the whole enjoy every sandwich thing.
yes,
It's all like, it is about like setting your expectations low, setting your reasons like, okay, I hope I don't die anytime in the immediate future. And because this is a thing, there are more good sandwiches to be had.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to enjoy the fuck out of every sandwich. It's just like, okay, that's a sandwich. I'm glad I was alive to have that. That was a good sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I'm going on a trip on Friday, so I have these thoughts in my head, like even just driving. Like I just drove to the bank and back, and I was like, "Don't get in a crash. Don't get in a crash."
you got a sandwich coming up.
Don't have anything happen to you.
This is a reason not to like get injured or die,
right?
Because you have this great trip.
Well, when you say kill yourself, then you're preventing yourself from doing it. I guess that's the difference I'm looking at.
I see. So it's the fact that it's not because you have agency.
You have agency.
Where in the car you have less agency because some other car could be carring you.
Right.
Sure,
or anywhere,
sure,
or you even in your own body. Your heart could give out, without you knowing it. So.
Well, sure. I'm wearing a heart monitor right now.
Okay. Now I see. Now I see
See,
where we're
this
going.
is where it comes
But,
in. Now the truth comes
yeah,
out.
that could kill me at some point. But
second
I'm wearing
chorus
it
is when
to
the feelings come.
because I have other things that I don't want to die, or something. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
that's
think
good.
we've
And you're wearing a heart monitor because you're seeing a doctor, and
seen a cardiologist.
you're
Yes,
trying to make sure that you continue to exist on this plane, and
and
that's
they
what we
would
want.
probably tell me to drink less beer, but
I know, right?
it's tricky.
Well, but
I know. I'm
that's
going to the
the
doctor on the
question about
24th. I'm like, don't tell me.
it's about enjoying sandwiches, though, and beer
Yes,
is the ultimate sandwich. It is the bread and the
it
conversation
is.
meat.
Let's change topics. Oh, you have what topic to
Okay,
change?
I did want to talk a little bit more about the evil twin thing again.
Yes, let's get back
just
to Evil Twin. Yeah.
because, speaking of life and death,
Okay.
we lost David Lynch recently.
That is true. Yes, we did.
And I know that you guys aren't as into him as I am. I think, Beer Wonder, for you, it was because you had an overly aggressive college roommate.
Yeah, well, I've seen everything he did because of that, but it gave me an appreciation.
Everything he'd done up to that point.
And up to that point, yes. Let's be clear. That was 2003 when we started.
And Huck, I know you have less patience for him than I do. But he was someone who I remember when I'm a giant fan of Twin Peaks, but also one of the things that shaped my sensibility as to what I love about cinema was I think it was 1985 or 86 when Blue Velvet came out.
Yeah.
And I saw it at the Dayton Mall, and it was gone like a week later. And then this other theater opened up in my hometown that was called a repertory theater. And they would show like 5 different movies a day. So it was a combination of like new art films, cult films, movies that might have been a recent release, but didn't maybe get a big run. And they brought Blue Velvet back. And I went to see it like 2 or 3 more times there. And to this date, it is probably the movie I've seen more than any other.
Wow.
I was just so into that. And Evil Twin has a connection with Twin Peaks because they have the original Great Northern sign from the Great Northern Hotel inside the door there. And they have had a wonderful, great series of barrel-aged stouts that's part of the Great Northern series. I've had a couple of them at our Stoutapaloozas. And when I was with Beer Wonder this afternoon, I picked up, I think it was volume 49.
Holy smokes.
It's a barley wine barrel aged thing. And about a week ago, I was hanging out with Night Runner, and he and Megan, his girlfriend, she doesn't have a name for us yet. We should give her a name. But they started on Twin Peaks during the pandemic. And a couple of years ago, they came over to my place and we watched Firewalk with me together. And this is something I've been trying to get them with, but it's always hard to plan anything. But I think I was more inspired by David Lynch's passing. There's like, okay, we finally need to watch Twin Peaks: The Return, so they're going to come over to my apartment every Monday for the next 9 weeks. And so I was very happy to have a Great Northern beer that I will share with them when we're doing that. We watched the first 2 episodes last night. And Huck, I hope that unlike you, they make it past the scene where the guy's sweeping the floor.
Sweeping the floor.
Oh my God.
I have such a strong memory of that. And my friend,
it's when you stopped watching that run.
Exactly when I stopped. And my friend Mike Malazzo, who is who you've met, he had this. He feels the same way as you, like about that particular Twin Peaks revival. He's like, they're bringing all the pieces together with the sweeping, and he was giving me that. Okay. That sticks with me when he told me that. But you know what about David Lynch, if I may, and David Bowie and whoever, Prince, these people that are gone, their human spirit or their existence on this plane is gone. But you and I and all of us will be gone eventually. These motherfuckers are going to live forever. Blue Velvet is going to be watched in film schools, and not only film schools, but in revivals for the next 100 years. If America lasts that long and all that, or the Earth. But
We don't. Yeah.
and David
Yeah, I
Bowie's
think it's
music,
less America. It's more of like civilization. As long as
civilization.
electricity survives.
Oh, God.
But I think my point is like they are going to live a long time. Where
Yeah.
we're, I mean, we do have the Beervengers podcast
Yes.
that could live. That could live on. It might become like a cult thing for kids.
Could be thinking they said, and
Uh,
people will say, and barely more than an average of 50 people downloaded every episode, but now it's part of.
God.
But
exactly.
now,
Exactly.
God.
they
But
never,
now-
they never really got appreciation in their own time. That now we know this is our beloved way that, and they will misinterpret our sayings and.
Oh, I love
And
it.
they'll-
I love it.
And there's room for all kinds of misinterpretations and abuse.
Oh yeah, there'll be a whole
so-
cult about it.
Yeah.
And they will brew beer, and they'll drink the beer, and it's like if you don't drink the beer, then you're on the wrong side, and you have to be like
Oh, my
sacrificed to the
God.
gods. You know it could be
Oh yeah,
something
and
special.
they could misinterpret our whole idea about reasons not to kill yourself to kill themselves.
Oh gosh, you guys are. There is a play happening at Playwrights Horizons that you all need to see called The Antiquities, which is how AI will interpret all of humanity based on what they found, and I could totally see them completely getting everything about our beer cast wrong. And
I love it.
Yeah, well, the one I was thinking of was called Mr. Burns.
Yep, it's very similar, similar
Yeah.
concept. Yep, just different execution, but well done. So highly recommended.
Back to Evil Twin. I think I
Yes.
found
Oh,
your
yeah.
beer wonder. Was it
Oh.
back in '82? I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
That's
That's
would
exactly
be it.
it, yeah.
That is exactly it. Because you know what, the big game is happening around the time we are recording this beer cast. I
The
believe it is
Superb
the
Owl, yeah.
Superb Owl. It is truly an excellent birding event.
Yeah, and it's I see the can art, and it's another movie reference to Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay,
Mhm.
I saw the movie, but I did not know that. Yeah, Huck. This actually, I love our various group texts that we have in between
Yes.
podcasts,
Yes.
and I love that. Like a week and a half ago, you said, "Are you guys watching this game?"
Oh yeah.
I think you knew the answer to it when I said it. It was like, I don't know, is the Super Bowl on tonight? I don't know.
Right.
I genuinely did not know.
It was a heartbreaker. Yeah. That's when I
I
had
think that
those
sometimes
tears,
when I say things about my ignorance of sports, you think I'm just mocking you. And that night, I genuinely didn't know.
No, I got that. Yeah. Yeah, it was the Chiefs. It was the AFC Championship game. Buffalo at the Chiefs, and Buffalo they couldn't pull it off. Yeah, the Chiefs they're going to the Superb Owl again. They're the
I'm sure
they're the
that,
modern Patriots, but
I'm sure that that Nutpool is very happy about that.
I'm sure
oh,
he will.
he
Say
is.
what you
Yeah,
will.
Nutpool's a big
Say
Chiefs
what you
guy.
will.
Say what you
Even
will
if his
about
in-laws
Nutpool.
or say what you will, yeah. I don't know if his in-laws are happy about it, but I know that he is.
So, I mean, I guess we're probably at about that time.
I think we are. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I know that there will be more beer venturing and adventuring happening in
Yeah.
the next month. If people need a shot of beer venging, just a sip of the glory that is happening,
Taste.
where should they be looking?
Well, just like put that @ symbol and
Yeah.
the Beervengers is one word, and put that in front of pretty much anything you want to, and yeah, it'll probably turn up. And I would also say that if you try and Google the Beervengers, and Google tries to tell you should be looking for the Beermongers, tell them no.
We don't know who they are.
I don't know what it is. There are
I'll look
times
that
when I
up
will
right
Google
now.
the Beervengers just to see what people are saying about us. It says, "Did you mean the Beermongers?" And no, I never mean the Beermongers. So don't look up for that. Also, who knows when I'm going to release this, because this is my my whims these days. But we're talking about our bingo card with the hops.
Yep.
Last time there was a New York Beer Week. Not last time, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. Fifth Hammer actually had hops bingo.
Oh,
We're as part of their New York City Beer Week.
yeah.
And this year, about a week before New York City Beer Week happens, Beer and Cheese Collective is doing a bingo with your boo.
Ooh.
That I believe that the Belgian Babe and I will be attending. It's a nice deal. It's like for $50 you get bingo, a shared appetizer, a sandwich, and a beer,
Mhm.
and bingo.
Well, the
sounds good.
Beervengers appears to be a draft and bottle shop in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Looks great.
I'd love to go visit there and compare name.
See,
compare
I
notes
wanted
with
to get
them.
into that the next Beervengers travel spot.
Yeah.
Well, let us know. I think generally speaking, most of my frequent flyer miles are best 30 days or so in advance. So,
Well, I
that's.
know we are looking at a potential domestic Beervenger adventure, but perhaps we'll have more to
I will
announce
hop on a
the
plane
future
anytime you motherfuckers say.
guests. Mhm.
Same.
I think that's a wonderful note, a wonderful end to note it on,
Exactly.
as we say. Sorry for those of you who are hoping that Beer Wonder would have a second pour tonight.
Those
That's
are
only for special occasions.
Thank
And
you.
the only special occasions we know of are in his head somewhere. And we're
Somewhere.
happy when they emerge.
Shan't
And if they
know.
happen every week, they wouldn't be as special.
But I do
All
know.
right.
I will say I've been to the Beer Wonder's home.
Yes.
He's got an F load of beers in there.
I do. Well,
Right.
look,
Just
That's
open
because
a
he doesn't
second
have
one. You
more
don't
second
have to. You don't
pours.
have to drink it. Just crack one of those. You got boxes and boxes of brews.
I
in
do.
there.
I've been saving them lovingly, hoarding them, my precious.
Oh, I wish I had that kind of. I mean, because the second beer the provider gave me this week was an AleSmith Speedway Stout German chocolate cake. There's no
Right.
fucking way that's going to
wow.
make it to the next episode
Nope.
before me just saying I'm having this beer tonight.
Look, and I have a winter beer from the
But you can
provider.
go there now and get that beer. So and I'm going to put it on our Instagram page. And I've done my due diligence. It won't be featured on the podcast probably, but it's such a good beer, and I'm so thankful to her for
Mhm.
giving me that. Looking forward to that is a reason not to kill myself.
Boy. And on that, Huck, why don't you?
All right, yeah, sure. I think that is. Huck, play us out.
Oh, we're the Beervengers, Beervengers, Beervengers. We're the Beervengers.